Me being a woman magician, I shared a lot of the same obstacles and the same perks as the other panelists today. However, being from Saudi Arabia, I faced a lot of different issues, and that's what I'm going to talk about. When I was a child, I was fascinated by magic. Most kids are, right? I wanted to become a magician, but there were no resources in my country. People confused magic with witchcraft. They thought it was done by genies, by supernatural powers. And in my country, people who were accused of witchcraft were executed. One day, I told one of my cousins that I want to be a magician when I grow up. She laughed. She said to me, "Have you ever met any genies? Have you talked to them?" I said, "No." She said, "I know a way." There is a chapter in the Quran, which is the holy book for Muslims, that's about genies. She said to me, "If you read the entire chapter in the middle of the night, in front of a mirror, in the dark, and if you read it in a reverse, then, and only then, the genies will come out and help you become a magician." So needless to say, I did that. And needless to say, nothing happened. When I was a child, my source of knowledge was one of my uncle's libraries. We did not have internet. So I went to his library once, and I found a book about interesting things. And there was a chapter about magic. I was so happy. I learned every trick in that book, but most of them needed props I didn't have, or an assistant, or both. I handmade the props, and I used my younger sister as an assistant. I was 8 at that time. And then I had my big day. I was so excited. I had a show in my grandpa's house for the whole family. And during the show, my sister forgot most of the steps. And she failed me. Everybody was laughing. I felt so embarrassed. I decided I will never do that again. Unless if I become really good at magic. One day, I was watching a TV with my auntie, and I saw David Copperfield making the Statue of Liberty disappear. Oh, it was amazing. How did he do that? I wondered. My auntie said to me, "Well, he did not really make the Statue of Liberty disappear. It's just an illusion. He tricks our eyes." I did not understand how illusion works. I tried to come up with a logical explanation, but I couldn't come up with anything. In 2010, I got a scholarship to pursue my higher education in America. And I got an admission to study English in Los Angeles. I was so excited. I set a goal. I will go to the Magic Castle. I will go to Vegas. I will meet David Copperfield. I will start performing magic. I got more excited about magic again. And I started learning by watching a lot of performers on YouTube over and over and over until I figure out how the trick is done. Or until I think I did. In 2011, I came to the US. I started performing in my school. I bought my magic book, the first magic book. It was The Complete Course of Magic by Mark Wilson. I was exposed to new ideas of magic. I learned new aspects about magic for the first time. It's not only about the tricks. There's misdirection, there's audience management, and there are other things that go along. By mid-2012, and right before I go back to my country, I went to Vegas, and I met David Copperfield. It was magical. And I went to the Magic Castle for the first time. And then I went back to my country. It was supposed to be 4 weeks vacation, but I ended up staying there for over a year, just waiting for a male guardian's permission to travel. You see, in Saudi Arabia, women are not allowed to leave the country without a male guardian's permission, regardless of how old they are. So during that time, I started promoting myself as a magician. A lot of people wanted to hire me, but I was only, I was only able to perform twice for female-only events, and they were both organized by the same lady who is trusted by my family. Because in my country, back then we did not have Uber, there's no public transportation, and women are not allowed to drive. So if I want to go somewhere, I have to find a male relative who's free, who's okay to give me a ride, who's fine with me doing magic, and who trusts people whom I'm going to perform for. Most of my family members were asking me the same question when people try to book me. How do you know these people? How do you know for sure nobody's going to take pictures of you and post them on the internet? I forgot to mention, when I turned 19 years old, that's the time when they started to force me to cover up. Because they think we're adults. And as soon as a girl turns 9 years old, she's an adult, she has to cover up. I wasn't allowed to play with the boys, to play video games, to ride a bicycle, or to play soccer. My daughter, tomorrow, will turn 9 years old in the Islamic calendar. If she lives in Saudi Arabia, she would be facing the same situation by now. In 2013, I finally escaped. I ran away. I came back to America. I went to Ohio first. I spent a year there. I tried to contact people there, magicians, and I couldn't meet any of them. But I felt the need to have a supportive group. And I was thinking, even me here in America, I couldn't find anybody. How about all these Arab magicians who can't do anything, who can't find one another? So I created a group on Facebook for all the Arab magicians. We're now a little bit above 230 members. And actually the members of the group started to have groups inside their countries So they started to meet one another from the group, and then they met in person. In 2014, I moved to the Bay Area. The same month, I got contacted by a magician through Facebook. His name's Kevin Madden. He invited me to a magic gathering. It's a secret. It's called the Magic Garage. Don't tell anybody. So I went there, and I met most of the magicians in the area by now. I met a lot of magicians who inspired me before, and I learned from them in person. Actually, last month, I performed in the Magic Garage for the first time. It was February 9th, and it was the same day women in my country, after 50 years of being banned from performing on a stage, they finally had the right to perform on a stage. Funny coincidence. I think I'm still stuck in my country. And by the way, Saudi magicians are banned from performing magic right now. After years of them trying to be able to perform again, they had to reveal some secrets for, the religious police to allow them to perform. They had the right to perform for a while, and then last year, they were no longer allowed to perform. So, right now, I am working on my first solo act. It will be after a month. And I think I'm lucky to be here because if I'm in my country as a magician and as a woman, I wouldn't be able to perform.
I got my theater blacks on. Perfect.
We need a green. In a land of men, we were taught what to do, what to say, and what to wear. They told me I was a queen. I should be guarded by men. I should stay inside my castle. I did not feel like a queen. I felt like a prisoner. So I tried to escape. They told me I'm a diamond. I shouldn't be disciplined. I should be hid away. I should be covered up. I was buried alive. They forgot I'm a magician. I will find a way. So I tried. I failed. But I tried again. And I failed again. But I never gave up. I kept trying. And I made it. I took the first step. They did not like that. So they made the rules even more strict. But I tried again. And I took another step. They did not like that. You're a woman, they said. You should stay inside your castle. You should lock the windows. But I flew away. They tried to lock me down. But I'm a magician. I broke my handcuffs. They captured me. And then I realized if I want to really escape, I have to go to even more. I have to go to even further place. I need a transportation machine. And I made it. I asked him. I wanted to remember to be nice to those people you crossed paths with. You never heard their stories. They may be trying so hard to change their covers. Do not judge a book by its cover. Forget it.
Wow.
Whoa.